Now, some of the factories that we have had experience in, if your factory are in some of these in this list, then you know that this is the trend worldwide. So things like essential oil, fertilizer, petrochemical, polyester fiber manufacturing, tires, mining industry, chemical. Chemical is a big one. Um, I don't know what the industry of chemical is in Myanmar. Uh, Fuel filling stations, power plants, palm oil mills, steel and sugar factories. So if you have a factory along these industries, then you know for sure um, a lot of the process can be automated. Okay, so we go to our first case study. So we recently did this probably about 1 year ago. It's an essential oil factory. So essential oil is like getting usually the smell of a product. For example, clove or cinnamon or coffee or vanilla, things like that. So they get the raw material, which is, for example, coffee beans, and then they want to get the chemical that has that smell, right? So the key process that they automate is a process called fractional distillation, right? It's basically uh, heating up the oil until it becomes gas. And then the gas is condensed and then it becomes a pure essential oil from that material, right? So previously, so we'll go through the process a little bit. So the material is inserted into the tank and then mixed with water. In this way, the essential oil will go into the water and then it is then pressurized to a high pressure so that all of the oil from the material goes into the water. After that, the tank is heated into a number of temperatures. So the first temperature that they heat is 100 degrees or so. So they eliminate the water. So the water is eliminated. So this process is in multiple steps. So the first step is to eliminate the water from the tank. Number two is to get the oil that is left over from the tank. So it's then heated to a higher temperature for a few hours to make sure all the oil has evaporated. And then the third phase is condensing that gas oil and then moving it into storage tank. So this process is not very complex, but it is high risk because you have high temperature, high pressure, and a lot of components need to be monitored for safety. So in the past, they have field operators to manually open and close the steam for the temperature, things like opening, closing valves for the condenser tanks, and then also monitoring the pressure and venting valves. So there's a lot of manpower involved. So when we look at the study of the before and after, the initial headcount for their operation totaled to 14 people, right? So you have 7 operators for the production, the fractional distillation component, and then you have an extra 7 people for the utilities. So the wastewater treatment plant, the boiler, as well as production manager and QC. So this is just on the plant floor. So there's 14 people. Now, after the automation, what you get is a total of 6 people, because all those people who are opening and closing valves, monitoring pressure, monitoring temperature, all of those people can now just sit in the control room looking at the computer screen, and everything is controlled from the computer screen. So there's just 2 people on maintenance. So usually there's people on the plant floor, 1 person in the control room, and then the rest is the same. So the production manager and QC is still the same. If you look at the previous slide, so on the last line, production manager and QC is still 3 people. So that's not changed. But all the people doing the process on the floor is essentially reduced to 2 for maintenance and 1 for control room. So that's more than 50% reduction in labor staff requirement, right? Now, some of the benefits of what this upgrade has bring to this factory. Now, the first part is that you get production increase. How did this happen? So firstly, because the temperature is monitored instantly and then all controlled from the one side, you can achieve the temperature a lot quicker. So maybe it took them probably before 1 hour to reach the 100 degrees. Now they can get that in 30 minutes, right? And then you also can monitor the process a lot better. And the end result is you get a lot more product from the same equipment. Secondly, waste material is reduced by 20%. What happens in this waste material? So in the past, they used to, because the process take a lot longer, you get a lot longer, you need more diesel, you need more water, things like this. And all of that is reduced because of automation. Number 3 is better consistency in finished product. So previously, you get bad product if the temperature is too high. In that case, the essential oil will be a little bit damaged because the temperature is too high. And this means that they have to throw away some products because it's too hot, and then the essential oil becomes bad. Number 4 is better reports. They can see how long each product takes to make. They can see how much diesel is used. They can see how much each day they make every day. And all of this is used as information to improve efficiency of the factory. Number 5, which is also important, is you have lower risk of factory accident, right? Because in an automated system, you can have a thing called emergency stops. So for example, if the temperature or the pressure becomes too high, you can immediately turn off everything, right? This was not possible before because everything is controlled by each person. So if there is something wrong, 1, 2, 3, or 4 or 5 people have to turn off everything manually. Whereas with the system, you can do that with just 1 click. And number 6, what they didn't know was that they had some corruption in the fuel. So the diesel that go into the boiler was stolen by the local operators. So now that they know how much fuel go into the boiler, they know immediately that there was stolen fuel, and they were able to eliminate this problem, which saved the money long term as well. That's some